I came here to save you.
The fortress is taken.
It is over.
Do not cite the deep magic to me, witch. I was there when it was written.
You're my only hope.
We shall fight on the beaches.
There will be days when we lose faith.
We band of brothers.
But take heart. Look around. You're not in this fight alone.
I bid you stand! Men of the West!
Ending there with the most important part, don't we?
As always, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the KingsAdvisors. I'm Dan, and I'm joined by my co-host, Caleb.
Yep. I just real quick, I want to say hi to the chat. Dan, the other Dan. Good old Roland. The great John Graber, the space jockey. And we've got a new person in the chat, Megan Single. I'm not sure I've seen you here before, so feel free to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at KingsAdvisors _. Good old Heavy Holler. The Gatekeeper's Daimyo. You shut up,
That's a
Daimyo.
hilarious message.
Yeah. And the good old Ronnie. Dad, you want to see some funny videos? Ronnie has got some funny stuff on his channel. He is a funny dude. And not
awesome.
just funny looking.
Wow, with the Barney, like, how could you not be
Right.
super amiable? But
What
this
was
is awesome, man.
What was the Friends song from Barney?
You're gonna out yourself here, buddy. I'm not marching down this internet path with you.
Yeah, I see here trending on Twitter, lesbianics. So, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how's the play? Chaos. I'm not even drinking yet. Okay, so Dan,
man.
how have you been? It's been a couple of months, I think.
Oh my gosh, and I do apologize about the holdup on this. It's just when you're at this point, you're just busy at this point. And wedding coming up, everything's moving along. Had to get a new car, so that's always fun. I'm learning a lot about insurance with my job. So, I'm all my Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones lore is going out the window for insurance lore. It's deep and compelling stuff, everybody. Trust me.
Oh, yes.
No, all jokes aside, though, everything's been really good. Just been running around, feels like. And now that everything's settled down, I'm really happy to kind of join you guys again and meet this new, I hate to use the word community or fellowship, but this new society we're.
Oh, let's use fellowship. Here. I like fellowship.
Fellowship's classic.
I know Nerdrotic and them call themselves the Fellowship, but that shouldn't limit us from being able to call this great group of people a fellowship.
No, I agree. So how about you, buddy? How have you been?
Good. I don't want to make things awkward, but I haven't received my invitation.
Oh, nobody has yet, dude.
Okay.
Last week, the date hasn't even been officially set yet. Call me out on live stream like that.
Oh yeah. That's how I roll.
I need to get a bleep button. Sack up. No,
that's the next thing. I've got like a list of a bunch of soundscapes that I need to grab. And one of them is the easy button from Staples. Remember that?
Staples commercials?
Yeah. Wow, that was easy.
Oh yeah. It would be great because those are ads, so they're like really liberal with the fair use. That'd be funny if we did like a bunch of famous ads, like gotta be quicker than that, like stuff like that, and just like kind of peppered those in. That'd be funny. But
for everything else, there's MasterCard.
We'll leave the light on for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you've got the list of stuff right there. What do you have down as our first topic of the night?
Item number 1, Disney Chaos.
Yes.
We can talk about any studio here. It seems like all we have to do is throw a dartboard at Marvel or animation or Pixar. Or
there's so much. You could fill encyclopedia set on what's going on at Disney right now.
if we weren't moving into such a broad and vast century ahead of us, I would say that books are going to be written about this time, but no one's gonna care about books when this is all blown over. Like it's all going to be recorded through streams, and people are going to go
Yep.
back and be like, "Oh wow, like this news dropped this day." Like I wonder how those are going to age. You know what I mean? All the daily streams where it's like people speculate, and it's like, "Oh, I wonder if this is going to happen," and then like 2 days later, something else happens, and
Yep.
it's just it's interesting. But yeah, I mean, like books are going to be written about this. Like this is how not to run a business.
Exactly.
Each-
Yeah.
It's baffling. So where do you want to start? I think we could circle back
Well,
to Lucasfilm later because we're going to be talking about
as
Mandalorian.
as lawyers, let's start with the lawsuit between, I keep wanting to say Alyssa Milano, but that's an actress.
No, that's a cookie. You're thinking of Victoria Alonso.
Yes, thank you, Victoria Alonso.
Yes. Who let's get in the spirit of being fair, like she's been with Marvel.
Yeah, she's been with Marvel
was with
since
Disney.
almost very close to day one. She was there. She was doing, if I recall correctly, she was doing stuff on Iron Man.
She was
But
a
she's
producer
been,
on
I believe she's been in her
Iron
position.
Man, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, you went robot there for a second. Dan?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure. I heard some feedback there.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think she's been in her position for a long time.
Yeah, so she's been her current position as head of VX. And Chad will correct me if I'm wrong on this, since the first Avengers movie. Which think about that. Think about what that all covers. That covers so many things that we love.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like it's just so much stuff that she's got going on, and it's almost hard to say what it was exactly. I mean, she's in this lawsuit claiming that she was, if I'm not mistaken, actually, can we pull up the complaint? Is that too boring, or should I have done that before this?
You know what?
This is with the drinking audience. I'd love to do it.
Where should
one night.
I was thinking about that. Where would I find the complaint?
It would have to be. I mean, I'm sure it might be just easily searched. Let's see, Victoria Alonso complaint, and well, this isn't very good streaming material, but
yeah. So the shit. Where was it going?
It's okay. We were talking about the complaint, and I guess we can just speculate wildly as lawyers do.
Oh yeah.
I mean, from what I heard, go ahead.
What's so crazy about this is it is as far as we know, as far as the powers that be have let leak out, this is a legitimate firing. She has been legit. There's there may be underhanded and non-explained reasons, but the Disney claims she was fired for basically breaking a non-compete. She worked with, I believe, Amazon to make that Argentina 1922 movie.
Some movie that I hope was worth all of this.
And she went on the red carpet with those producers and those directors instead of
basically sitting on the sidelines with Marvel.
And instead of going down with Disney.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that is exactly it. But there's a whole plethora of stuff. I mean, we're talking about the falling VFX,
that's just insane. The whole the just straight up patheticness of Disney VX in the last 5 years.
To get real for a second, it's not fair to those people working on it. Like,
no, it's not.
Some of the scenes are good, and some of the hard work does shine through. And it's a shame that so much of it is remembered for being faulty or cheap looking or silly. And it's like, 30 years ago, these guys would have been the most talented guys in the country at doing this stuff.
Exactly.
And now it's like they're run into the ground. They're overworked. I hear a lot of them aren't getting paid correctly and overtime, which is a shame, because it's like, unless you're in a union, you don't get like respect at all. And it's like, oh, well, you're just nothing. And
which is why
I only
lawyers
hope it improves.
exist.
Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's not as easy as just saying and doing stuff with the law. Like,
yeah, no, I agree. So
but glad good riddance, I'm sure, from the
yes,
I'm sure the boot level people are saying good riddance to them.
And it hasn't helped though that Disney keeps making VX movies. I know it's VFX, but VX is just easier. It's a type of gas, so it's funny. They keep making movies that are like 90% CGI, and that doesn't help anybody. I mean, think back to Iron Man. Think back to the first Iron Man. I think the repulsors were CG, but that suit wasn't CG. As far as I remember, even the it getting put together, like when the camera pans up and you see the flaps going around the feet and stuff like that, that wasn't CG either. Now I in the first Iron Man.
Oh. Yeah, I watched that not long ago, man. It was so good.
Yeah,
I actually stopped what I was doing.
Wow. See,
like, it was just on TV, and I was like, this is such a good freaking movie.
And that just to use that as a little, not segue, but a linchpin for something. You stopped what you were doing and looked up and watched the movie. The last TV show that had me put my phone down and just watch the show was House of the Dragon. Now, we're not going to go straight into a Song of Ice and Fire universe right now. Otherwise, we'll be stuck there for the next century. But Disney and not Warner, Disney and Amazon and Netflix, they have this problem where their shows are not captivating. They're almost background noise. I watched Mandalorian this morning. I watched, and I had to watch it on my computer. Otherwise, I would have sat there looking at my phone the entire time.
Do you think that's what it's getting made for, though? Like, do you think it's some of this stuff is getting made as second monitor content, like where you're primarily like gaming and you're looking over and you're like, okay,
yes, 100%, quite a bit.
Yeah.
Now, these big things, Mandalorian, I don't think they're doing that. I don't think that's the purpose of the Mandalorian.
Well, it's turning into that.
But I do think it's turning into that. And I have to rewatch this morning's episode because I've seen so many reports saying this is the best episode yet, and I'm sitting there going, how? Now, I don't want to spoil anything because we've got people in the chat who haven't seen it yet. So I don't want to spoil anything. But it wasn't as good as like the second episode for me.
Dude, I didn't even know it came out, and it's looked so boring that I just have tuned out. Like,
well, that's like we didn't even finish National Treasure because that's how bad it is.
Oh, well, there was not even any hype around that. Like, it was boring to review. It was it was just lame. It was like, all right, well, I don't care about this. Like, if nobody else cares about it, what am I doing here? You know?
Yeah, I kept wanting to watch it, and then watch it to do the reviews, but then I wasn't going to watch it if you didn't have time to do the review, and I wasn't going to do the review by myself because we tried that and it wasn't very good.
Oh, you're too hard on yourself. No, I think it was just boring, man. It was just like if we were pulling in views and it was like generating steam, and it was like I feel like if we had paid that attention to Velma, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. National Treasure came out. That's hilarious.
I love you, Green Lantern.
Yeah, it came and went, buddy. And that was a show that should have been released all at once. Like, that was one that didn't need to be week to week. It was so lame.
Yeah. Maybe like boring. Release the first half one day and then release the second half the next week.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe 2 episodes.
Yeah, you could have even, if you had done that, you probably could have gotten the show charting because you would have had a lot of people watching probably 3 episodes of a show, which I think would have gotten the show charted.
You think?
Yeah, but then the next week it wouldn't because everyone would have stopped watching after the 3rd episode.
Yeah. Well, in that vein, do we want to switch into starting to talk about Star Wars, or should we finish up with Marvel?
Real quick with Marvel. Okay, so I made a short earlier this week, which was absolutely beautiful, and I think it's the greatest joke I've ever made.
Wow.
And it went, you know what? This is our channel. We're going to play it because that's how much I love this video. Let's see. Let's go to your channel, shorts, and let's come back over here. StreamYard, present. A couple people have already seen this, but y'all are just going to watch it again because it's actually pretty funny. All right, so you remember what happened with Jonathan Majors, right, Dan?
Yes.
Okay. Caleb here from KingsAdvisors. And I wanted to comment on the Ezra Miller news that we received the other day. So I know that he was arrested for strangling his girlfriend. And, well, hang on a second. What? What do you mean? Oh, this is Jonathan Majors. Naturally, I heard superhero actor and crazy crime and just assumed. Apologies. So Majors was arrested for apparently strangling his girlfriend. Now, what's weird about all this is just like a month ago, Majors was propped up by Hollywood as the next big thing. So I'll be very interested to see where this is going, and I'll be keeping my eye out.
Very funny.
Yeah,
I liked the.
Yeah. I got a couple text messages say, dude, that was pretty good. So I wanted to play that because I want other people to see it, and because I want to make it very clear that which I didn't do in the short, and I feel bad about. Anyone arrested is innocent until proven guilty. And it has already been shown that he is more than likely innocent of this, that he was attempting to prevent his girlfriend, who was going in a manic break at the time, from harming herself and the rest of the people in the car, that they were all driving to the hospital to get her basically admitted. And she has already apparently recanted twice. Now, because this happened in New York, it is my understanding that New York has domestic violence laws that basically say if the police are called and there is damage to the other person's body, that then the partner has to be arrested. So I don't have complete confirmation on that being the law of New York, but that's how I understand it. And it really looks like this is just a wrong place, wrong time, paparazzi not caring about what's really happening thing.
It's all dirty laundry, unfortunately. And the thing I actually found interesting from this was from the people who have allegedly worked with him, who have been anonymously, they haven't name dropped him. And then once this news came out, then they were like confirmed that these are who these earlier tweets were about. Like, I don't know if you saw any of like he's a serial abuser and he's a psychopath and stuff like that. Yeah, I would encourage you to maybe dig into that stuff a little bit, because it started breaking like the couple of hours after this news came out, because there were like some cryptic tweets from former coworkers that they were like they wouldn't directly name him, but they were like, this one person I worked with, you wouldn't believe like how actually like violent and like scary he can be. He's really manipulative, all this stuff. And like, again, these aren't my words. I'll post some details in the description if I need to. But
please, yeah.
It was just, I was like, oh, okay. So when separate things like this unfold, that's where the interesting parts lie to me. Like, This is stuff that just happens in life. Like, I hate to tell people that domestic violence is a thing. It's just something that people go through. Not that it's like some excuse or like hand waving this to it. I'm just saying, like, it's more common than you think that people go through this kind of like routine in their lives. And my heart goes out to all the people who are involved in it. Like, usually it's a cycle of abuse, and if you're out there listening to this, you should break the cycle and free yourself. And
100%. 100%.
But with that being said, that was what I heard about Jonathan Majors. So I was shift this now conversation of this chaos at Disney into what is going on with the DC EU. Like this DCU. Like, this is so bad. Like, Shazam is a flop. Like, this is bad. Black Adam was bad. They canceled Batwoman. James Gunn's projects look terrible. Is there any hope, Caleb? Is there any hope for DC?
There never was much hope. Only a fool's hope.
Throwing it back in my face. You just set you up, and you're like, "Oh, here's Lord of the Rings for you."
Hey, what's up, Star Wars dog? I'm shocked you're here. I thought you'd still be upset about getting swept by South Carolina.
Oh, dude, you're not doing Georgia fans dirty like that. Not that I'm here. You're not picking fights. Are you talking about swept in what sport?
Baseball.
Oh yeah. I forgot to check that collegiate baseball. Is it collegiate baseball season?
Yeah, it started in February.
Shit, I gotta catch up.
South Carolina leads the country in home runs. It's like second in the country in runs. Yeah, we're going all the way this year. Let's go.
Well, I guess everybody needs something to root for, huh?
Oh, thanks.
Even in South Carolina, we got to have something worth rooting for, huh? I guess they leave rooting for football up to the other big team, don't they?
Are you talking about that team that we beat last year?
Yeah, that one time. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but that's okay. I'm just being cheeky. I went to a small school.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but yeah. So any hope? So no hope there, DC.
So this is the thing. I don't really care right now, but I think it's all going to lie on who they cast as Superman. And if
good at it.
Well, so this is the thing. I know they're jokes, but if they go with any sort of Timothy Chalamet looking mother effer, I will write off DC for the next 20 years.
I gotta say, and here's the problem. Like, I know a lot of people don't like him or his type and stuff like that. I have never seen a bad Timothy Chalamet.
The King.
I know you hate that movie, but I like that movie. Like, I thought that what's his name in that movie was great too. The
Pattinson.
Yeah. No. Pattinson played that was embarrassing. But
Pattinson played the Dauphin.
The Dauphin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was the other guy, the guy who played Henry's right hand, John something.
Oh yeah, I don't remember his name. But
he's in it. Joel Edgerton.
Yeah, he's not supposed to be there.
Yeah, no shit. But it was a good movie.
Yeah, that character dies in the previous play.
That dude who died at the end, dude. That was good. That was crazy. I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah,
and I like Dune too. So I as much as I don't want to see like somebody like purposefully effeminate, like if they casted Timothy Chalamet, he like bulked up. And when he was like, no, I went and lived in Kansas, and I think I'm from Kansas now, and I have a Kansas accent. I'd be like, well, I'd like to see where this goes. You know what I mean? But
I don't think a character actor can play Superman.
I don't know, man.
I think you need a real man.
We have to pick something. Yeah, but who is that anymore besides Henry Cavill? Like, obviously, there aren't a ton of these draws in Hollywood anymore.
What's the chat thing? Who do you think should play Superman next? And while we're waiting for answers, what do you? since we're still on the superhero topic, what do you think about? And we're going back to Marvel though. What do you think about the news that? What did that Vincent D'Onofrio let out a couple days ago, saying that this was not going to be the same Daredevil that we got from Netflix.
I mean, that shouldn't be surprising. I guess
I agree. It's not surprising at all.
Yeah, it's really just confirmation of the fact that there is no plan to save, like, to turn these things around. Like, they keep trying to get people to believe that they have their best interests in mind, and they just don't. They have their interests in their jobs and their wallets. And I hate to be so cynical, but it's just like moments like these when you're like, why? You already had it done. It was already good.
It was.
Why are you trying to drive people away? Gray Pilgrim.
It really feels like that.
Side note to Gray Pilgrim. She's already been Star Wars. She was the first Star Wars.
Yes.
She was the first Superman.
Yeah. But back before Chris Reeves ever touched it, she was Superman.
She was written for Superman.
Brie Larson.
Well, like Brie Larson. Okay, that was a bad joke. Yeah. So anyway, that's what I think. So I don't know. There's some good ones. I saw one of them said Alex Skarsgård, and somebody.
Yeah,
I could
see Alex Skarsgård. Oh, his brother is in a movie. Oh, his brother's in John Wick 4. I haven't seen it yet, but I need to go see it.
Oh my God, Roland is right. She created DC, and that's why she created the JL, the Justice League.
Yep.
Jennifer Lawrence. We're on something here, boys. Let's we're break open the Google Doc. We're tracking this down.
And about about 8 years ago, we got the JLU, the Jennifer Lawrence Unlimited.
The Jennifer Lawrence universe. That's what we're all living in.
Yeah. It's her party, and we're just here.
Yeah, I heard this really funny thing the other day, and I can't remember where I heard it or what show or something, where it was that, like, the reason why things have gotten so crazy in this timeline is because, like, years ago, CERN actually, like, they did fire off their Hadron Collider, and we just keep resetting in weird ways. And it's like all these like weird jokes, or turns out to be like times where the CERN just like we reset with the Hadron Collider in another weird way.
It's actually really funny.
So like this, like at one point, Jennifer Lawrence crawled into the Hadron Collider, and now she's a part of like this the world. She created everything lore. Yeah.
She's Clara from Doctor Who.
Oh God, the girl who's the key to everything.
Look, I didn't mind that. I liked Clara as a companion.
They were the first ones to do it. That's why we didn't mind it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I liked it. Oh my God, Jeru La Ruvatard. Oh my God. Yeah. Get out of my head.
Have you ever seen that before, Dad?
What?
He sent that same super chat. Well, it's not super chat here, but he sent that as a super chat on Gary's first review of Rings of Power.
Oh man, that is so funny.
It is.
Now I want to talk about Lord of the Rings.
Honestly, I think it's the best super chat I've ever seen sent. It's really good.
That's really good. Now I want to talk about Lord of the Rings. I heard a horse died on the Rings of Power.
Oh my God. I was so embarrassed. It was like I was there 20 years ago riding down New Zealand making amazing scenes, and now you've brought me here and I have to be in this shit.
Yeah,
and it just died.
It died suddenly. So now they're killing the horses too. I don't know. I feel bad for the horse for sure. I bet you it was one of those situations where like it just, what were you supposed to do? You know?
Well, how do you kill a horse? on a
Apparently,
movie
he had a
set.
heart attack. Yeah, apparently, he had a heart attack.
So it was probably an accident.
A giant heart attack. I don't know, man. I don't really know much about horses, to be honest with you. I don't know if they like get worked up or
The
the
horse got on the line. It's great.
Oh man, that's so funny. That's like one of those like fuck this shit, I'm out, and it just dies. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
oh my god, that's
Yeah.
poor horse.
Yeah.
But it's in a better place now. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's the Warner Brothers stuff. Nothing's really moved on the Lord of the Rings front in a while, which is good.
Well,
No
we haven't. I've been waiting on you to talk about this. It got the COVID vaccine.
Baldwin was on set. These are great. You should say these are so funny.
Oh yeah. So, oh wait, let's see. Yeah. Say the Rings of Power is the dollar store version of the Lord of the Rings, but that would be an insult to dollar stores. Oh, I just saw that. Was Alec Baldwin on set?
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, they're super funny.
Oh my god! I tell you what, we got some funny people in here.
It's a good crowd. It's a good crowd. I wish I didn't give up drinking for Lent.
Yeah. I've never been more happy to be a Baptist.
That's fine. I mean, it's not like they're like telling us from the church. I just did it on my own. So, whatever. I'm not cranky. You shut up. No, but what were you gonna? I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think of any Lord of the Rings stuff. I heard that they were kind of.
So let's talk about what happened 2 months ago. We got news that Warner Brothers had reached a deal with Middle Earth Entertainment, I believe is the name of the company, through another company that they now have the rights for, I think it's supposed to be like another 5 years to go and make more movies, more stories. I believe they also have the rights for, the third party has the rights for amusement parks, video games, and all this stuff. And what's crazy is that the rights were expected to go for $2 billion. They were apparently acquired by this third-party company for about $300 million.
It's a good deal.
That, to me, that says that's how much Middle Earth Entertainment did not want to sell the rights to Amazon. Because Amazon was trying to get all those rights.
Good for them. Good for them.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. I mean, I'm excited to see this War of the Rohirrim. I've been excited for this for years now. It feels like
with Miranda Otto as the narrator.
I'm a big fan of I think animation is a good medium for Middle Earth because you can really get the scale and you won't have to worry about aging actors or horses dying on set.
Horses dying on set. Yep.
So yeah, I think I'm excited for it. So, but I am hesitant to see new Lord of the Rings made. I mean,
so let's as a channel, let's go ahead and how everyone decided they weren't going to call Rings of Power Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. Okay, these are not Lord of the Rings movies. They are Middle Earth movies. They are movies that could take place before or after Lord of the Rings. Maybe a movie that would tell us about what's going on in the north with the Iron Hills during Two Towers. Something like that. It will not be a 2026 edition of The Lord of the Rings. So that's the good thing. The other good thing is that Peter Jackson and his team have been kept in the loop the entire time.
Yes, they have, which is good news. Which is very good news because it's not just Peter Jackson. It's Philippa Boyens
Right.
and Fran Walsh as well. So it's
Oh
the
yeah.
dream team
Now which
back
one's his
together.
wife?
I think Philippa Boyens is his
Yes,
wife.
I believe it is.
Yeah, and then Fran Walsh is the friend.
Yes.
What they also need to do is keep the same design. They need to get John Naismith back. They need to get all the same artists back. To do this, they need to get Howard Shore back. Like this needs to be
Howard
what
Shore.
happened
Yes,
20 years ago.
it needs, the dream team needs to return. They need to go back to New Zealand. They need to get Weta involved.
Get everybody reinvigorated and do it right. Bring the people in. Don't make it seem like.
And this will make Amazon look like a bitch. It really will.
It would be nice if they just bowed out. If they were like, we'll just do like rentals and stuff. Like we're good. You know what I mean? Like maybe they'll sell off their remaining like good stuff like Reacher and.
What? So what are you smoking?
What do you mean?
Well, you said you weren't drinking. Clearly, you're smoking something to be thinking that Amazon's going to be doing this.
Well, I mean, I said it would be nice. I didn't say this was
okay.
going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't listen, Caleb.
What?
What? No, I think it's potentially exciting. I'd be cynical for everything, and if there's one thing Tolkien doesn't want you to be is cynical. I agree. They need not be rushed, and they need to have the heart of it still. They need to have the spirit of it. If they come into it with ill will, if they come into it to deconstruct, if they come into it like to pretend like it's not the greatest thing, then I'm getting to the point where I really feel like this is starting to trample on like the culture of the English. And they take a lot of abuse because they're everywhere and they've been kind of deemed like the bad guys by a lot of things. But like this is part of English culture. This story,
100%.
It is. If you want to say it's about English culture, that's your argument to make. Regardless of whether it's about English culture or Norse culture, it is English culture. Like it's not fair to pretend like just because it's written like long ago that it's not somehow part of a culture or heritage. So it's frustrating and it's getting to be downright insulting. And you'd think that the English would just start protecting their cultural heritage, like not that they aren't. I'm just saying, like you think they would encompass.
They aren't.
Like, hey, you know what? Actually protect. This is actually we have an interest in preserving the legacy of somebody who fought in our armies, who taught in our schools, who educated our young, who encapsulated more people in the world, only to be oversold by the Bible.
Yeah,
so
it is the
it's not
second
just a small thing.
Yeah. The only thing that sold more copies in the 20th century than Lord of the Rings was the Bible. I mean, think about that.
It's amazing.
That's an absurd number.
It's an absurd number. I think it was translated into 65 languages. Like, and it wasn't just as simple as putting it into Google back then. Like, you had to bring in professionals who could read both languages and translate. I mean, I'm beating around the bush here. It needs to have that soul, because what people who are touched by it, people who are enjoying it, they enjoy the legendarium, they're gonna smell out a fake. It's so easy to know who doesn't know who Feanor was, or what the War of the Silmarils was about. Like, I mean, I'm not saying you have to be like a super nerd about the Silmarillion, but like, if you're working on these projects, I would hope that you at least grasp the difference in the ages. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
There's so many people so passionate about this stuff, and it's the same thing you find in the Game of Thrones community online. Like, there's so many people who have so much passion and intelligence and memory and knowledge and logic about the world that you're almost just like, how can these people just not like go onto the subreddit and be like, hey, I've actually read a ton of your theories. Why don't you come in for a meeting?
Exactly.
What is that to a Hollywood executive? Like, what is that? Like $1,000 in ticket and a hotel to get
even if that? How many?
Right.
If I'm just gonna use this guy. He's the wrong guy. But if Sapochnik sent you an email tomorrow that said, now he's no longer with a Song of Ice and Fire
Sure, just
studios.
use Ryan Condal.
But
Just say,
yeah, okay. If Ryan Condal
texted
sends
me.
you an email tomorrow saying, "Hey, I saw that thing that you posted on Reddit. I think it's a really great idea. Would you mind flying out to LA to talk about it?" Would you not go, absolutely? Will you pay? Do I have to pay? I'll pay if I have to. I would pay on a dime.
It seems like with the plethora of resources available now, that would be
you don't even have to fly them out. Hop on Zoom.
Zoom would be good. I mean, you almost think you'd want to bring in this kind of passion. Like you're like, hey,
yeah,
I see that you know the difference in the kingdoms of the Iron Islands. I think that you care enough about this to come in and do a good job holding a microphone. You know what I mean? Like even those people who aren't like writers, you know what I mean?
And not DEI crap.
Oh, geez, I know. And it like wait till we all look back and realize how embarrassing this was.
One of the things that I saw this earlier, and this is kind of off topic. I know a lot of people aren't fans of Friends. I know a lot of people think it's not a funny show. There's definitely funny stuff in it. There are things that are going to make you laugh, just like The Office. There are people that think The Office isn't that great, but there's still funny stuff in The Office. So Jennifer Aniston, this time Aniston, not Lawrence, gave an interview, I think the other day, where she said that there are a lot of people our age and younger who find Friends offensive because it's 6 white guys, 6 white friends.
I don't know what to say. I mean,
like it's that kind of crap. And this is what's even crazier. You've got all these companies doing things. I have the same argument with Disney with their Star Wars worlds, but you've got these companies building this stuff for 17, 18, 19-year-olds who don't have money. We have the money. You should be building this shit for us. You want money? We'll give you money. Just make a good Star Wars movie. Put the circle dish on the top of the Millennium Falcon.
You'll never get another Star Wars movie.
No,
Disney will go down.
No.
With the rights.
So, but Disney will make Star Wars movies. So apparently, in 3 weeks at Star Wars Celebration, we are supposed to be. They are supposed to announce 3 new Star Wars movies.
There are 12 announced movies, Caleb.
Yeah. So let me see if I can find that.
3 sequels announced, or 3 trilogies announced.
Well, so all of them are now canceled.
No, they have not been canceled.
No, they have. Rolo, I know you probably know where it is. You think you could send me that? I guess it's technically a meme of all the canceled stuff with the directors next to it. This thing is hilarious.
Oh, you know what? I think I did see this circulating around. I just thought I heard that the Rian Johnson wasn't officially canceled yet, even though it was on a website that it had been.
Yeah. So I think so the only thing that is not canceled now is what's supposed to be this 2025 movie that's supposed to bring Grogu and Rey together and is being written by the guy that created Peaky Blinders, wrote and I think directed Burnt and a bunch of other things that I actually really like.
Hot take, I didn't like Peaky Blinders.
Well,
I watched 3 seasons of it.
When the viewer count hits 0, I'm going to blame you for that.
No. They can hear me out. They can hear me out. It was too much of a pattern. Like, first season, there's a big bad guy. They fight the big bad guy. And then the second season, there's new big bad guys. And you got to take these new big bad guys seriously. And then they take them out. And then the third season, well, you better watch out because these are Russian big bad guys. And they're Russian. And you better watch out. And then they take them out. And then the next season is, well, they're Italian bad guys now. And that's when I was like, all right, I get it. big bad guys come in, mess stuff up, they get back at them, and then they would like. I got it after a while. Like the cinematography was great. The first season is awesome. How about I say that? I like the first season.
Well, I could go even further and get all of our subscribers to kick us. I watched Breaking Bad, and I'm like, okay.
You didn't watch it then.
I watched the entire show.
You didn't watch it backwards, though. That's how you're supposed to watch it. Backwards, it's about a drug dealer who gives up it all to become a teacher.
Oh, okay. So
that's what American Dad episode.
Is that how you have a fiddle in the band?
That's a Southern turn of phrase. I just don't understand, my friend.
From the guy that grew up in Southern Georgia.
I grew up in New Jersey. I moved to Georgia.
Oh.
I went to school in Southern Georgia.
Oh, I thought you grew up in Georgia. Okay.
No. My family moved from New Jersey to Atlanta.
Okay. Well, Atlanta's not really the South either.
No, I know. But I went to school in South Georgia. I went to my undergraduate was in South Georgia. So I put my time in. I just don't understand that phrase. And I like the song.
Yeah. It's a song. It's a song that says, when you do this, you get your wife back, you get your truck back, you get your something else back. Star Wars Dogs knows it. Okay, so where were we? Oh my God.
Oh, that's okay. I'm moving on.
Okay, we can do that.
I have end of superheroes here.
Oh,
do you
yes.
think this is the end of a superhero genre? Like the time frame is passing by. I mean,
it needs to be. It needs a break. It definitely does that. I think Disney has kind of realized that because everything has been pushed back. There isn't a single thing that has been announced for Marvel that is still on schedule to release when it was originally announced. And I'm not talking like pushed back 2 or 3 months. I don't think there's a single movie that is even in development anymore.
I agree, man. I just think it's tapped. I think we peaked with Endgame. I mean, how do you really top that unless you do it all again but better this time?
See, what they should have done is they should have done Endgame, had the nice little pause of the Spider-Man movie that I feel kind of resets stuff in kind of a nice way.
Endgame?
Yeah.
I liked it too. I mean, I know there are problems with it. I
didn't really like time travel, but I like Endgame. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
I didn't really like that it just became like a cutesy thing at the end. Like I could get down with it if like Tony was giving up his daughter to save the world and it was a one-way trip. You know what I mean?
Right.
That would have been, I think, more heroic, and I think it would have been a little bit more like about the hero's sacrifice in the greater good. And I think it would have been a better topic to explore. But I didn't like it when I went to see it in the theater. I remember leaving it being like, I guess they had it. You know what I mean? That was it. And I felt really hollow because I felt like so much time. I mean, I grew up with watching those movies. I mean, I was so pumped when the first Avengers came out. We went to see it at midnight. I took all my friends and we were so fun.
I left my AP World History class to go see the Avengers movie.
I saw it like a real Chad the night before on midnight, back when they did that. Back when it was a real midnight release and it wasn't just like 8 p.m. on a Thursday. I mean, you had to wait till midnight. That's how it used to be. And
so they used to release video games too, and it was awesome.
It was the coolest movie I'd ever seen. I think it was one of the coolest movies I'd ever seen at the time. I mean, when they assemble and they tell the Hulk to smash and the Hulk peaks when he's like, I'm always like, that has got to be one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history.
Say that again.
I'm sorry if I cut out there. I just thought it was a really good scene. I just really like that scene where they assemble and the Hulk smashes the Chitauri worm, space worm.
That's the thing. I'm always angry.
Yeah, but I will say this because there's a comment here. If I left the theater hollow, I was already hollow. I did rewatch it like one weekend, I think my fiance was out of town, and I just put on Infinity War, and then right after Infinity War, I just put on Endgame. I didn't watch any of the stupid ones in between. I just bam, bam, right
Smart.
after another, and it was amazing that way. Like when it was like the second act of a 2-act movie, it was amazing. Like it was the fast pacedness of it was better served watching it right after Infinity War, because when you had all that time and movies in between Infinity War and Endgame. And then Endgame happens over the course of like in the movie, I think it's like 12 hours, right? So it's really fast paced. You know, it's like we got to go here, and then remember this one, we got to go over there, and like that was so much less. It was underwhelming the first time I saw it, but then when I had watched Infinity War, and then immediately after that turned on Endgame, I guess I was already hyped. Like I was already like, let's go. We gotta jump into this. And I knew what we were doing. I was like, let's go. And I thought it was awesome. Like I was like, I freaked out. I think I texted you and I was like, dude, Endgame's actually awesome. Like, so I think it would have been better served right after Infinity War instead of having movies in between it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like they should not have put Captain Marvel in between. They should have done, if you're gonna break up this storyline, first off, don't. But it should have been Captain Marvel, then Infinity War, then Endgame.
I don't really even see why Captain Marvel was needed. I mean, if you cut her straight out of the MCU, nothing would change.
Nope, not a damn thing.
Not one thing would change. It would be just the absolute best.
Agreed, Daimyo. Daimyo, you were 100% correct.
Yeah, that was really good.
Mm-hmm. The feels.
Kiss of a War was great. Yeah, I mean, honestly though, come on, like the fighting in Infinity War was awesome.
Yeah, it was great. Yes, but the best fight scene, like one-on-one type fighting, was Iron Man versus Cap and Bucky.
You know, they used to have the best dialogue in those movies too. It was like, I wouldn't ask you to come with me. It's like, you didn't have to. You know, stuff like that. You're just like, this is, you were in for something special. And
or if they did include her, they should not have used Brie Larson. They should have used Natalie Dormer.
I think any of the characters would have been a little bit too. It was all about It was all about Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, and Hulk. It should have been about Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk. Like it didn't. Everyone else could have been a side character. Hulk should have beat the shit out of Thanos at the end. Thor shouldn't have been fat. He should have been like grim and solitude. And
he should spent his off time like getting even bigger, so that he could finally take off that head.
Yes, absolutely. He should have been huge by the line. Like, he should have actually been like a giant, you know? And he should have been like quest hunting, like, oh, Thor's on another quest. Like he's just around doing anything, you know? I really miss those days. And it feels like they're behind us now to circle us back to the end of superhero movies.
Did you see this? Did you see Love and Thunder?
No, I didn't even. But
it's the last Marvel thing you watched.
Endgame.
The last Marvel thing I watched was the 6th episode of She-Hulk.
Yeah, you did watch that. That was about the same time we were thinking about launching this.
Yeah, and we were going to review it. And pretty sure I called you after the 6th episode, just said, let's not do this. Let's not review this. I'd rather review Perry Mason or anything else. But Pilgrim has a great point here. The downfall of the MCU was, I'm gonna pray that I say his name right. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi. I am so sick of people saying that, Thor Ragnarok is a great movie. It is crap.
Yeah, it was no better than Thor 2, to be honest.
I like Thor 2. I like the first two Thors.
Wow, I'm a fan of Christopher Eccleston, so he's always going to have a place in my heart as the bad guy in that movie.
Oh,
Terrible
right.
bad guy, but he was the Doctor
He's
Who. Malekith.
Malekith.
Doctor. Yeah. And it was such a bad plot. Like they had to connect these portals to these blood elves. I was like, oh, this is so bad. Go back to the Avengers.
I liked it. But yeah, I get that it's kind of cute that he's a friend from work. It was a Make-A-Wish line. But one of the things that made movies like Civil War and all three Cap movies, the Iron Man movies, with the exception of the kind of crappiness of the third movie, most of the Avengers movies, one of the things that made them so good was they had little jokes. There was just a little bit of a comedic flair every, let's say, 30 minutes that would lift you up a little bit.
Yep, I can state two right now that were excellent, but finish your point. The
main one being in Ultron when Cap says shit and someone says language. No, sorry. Tony says shit and Cap says language. And so throughout the movie, there's a little bit of a comedic uplift whenever something happens and someone says, he just said a no word. Like, that is the comedic uplift that these kind of movies need. Not
it's cute.
40 minutes of just jokes.
Yeah, it's cute because Cap's old school, so he doesn't like that language around. You don't need that language to be used, which we used to in this country appreciate that greatest generation. But now everybody behind the 90s was, I guess, a bad person. So, and it's my two favorite ones are when they're in the briefing room in Avengers, and the first one, and Tony's sitting there going off, and he's like, hey, that guy over there is playing Tetris.
Galaga.
That was Galaga, whatever. Sorry. It was so funny. And because at the end of the scene, the guy goes back to playing it. Yeah. And then the other best part was when somebody says, like, yo, what are we going to do?
Flying monkeys.
Yeah, what are we going to do? Flying monkeys? And then Cap's like, I get that one.
Yeah.
You know, like, that is so funny.
Because
it
was an intellectual joke. Because you had to realize that he doesn't get all the other references. So he's like, oh my God, I get this reference.
It was funny. It's perfect. And then we're right back to action. It was good. And I guess some people, I kind of want to finish this point of
go right ahead.
Why the superhero movies I think are over for now. And I think it's because we actually hate to admit that we witnessed something special and it's over. Like, this is a terrible analogy, but it's like an acid trip. It's done. You've got to move on. It's over. You've had fun. Maybe it was special. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe we're just, dust on a rock in space. But it's it happened. Sure. Do we need probably as a population like closure? Sure. But it was special and now it's not. And I think it's hard for us. And I think it's the same thing that generations went through with Westerns, where it's like, all right, these are done. Same thing with there's a whole phase of gangster movies in the 90s and after Godfather. It's done. Nobody likes gangster movies anymore. Yeah, there's one every now and then. And I liken it to this analogy I heard where eventually, at one point in the United States, there were hundreds and hundreds of manufacturers of buggies. Buggies as in what you pull behind a horse. And eventually, the best rose to the top. And there were probably only a few companies. And as buggies started getting phased out, as people started seeing the benefits of other things, the last companies around were probably the best buggy companies around because they had outlasted everybody else. But like everyone else, eventually the time comes where it's time to shut the doors and admit that time is over. No matter how successful it was, no matter how great of an idea it was when it first came out, no matter how good you were at that idea, you have to eventually accept that things change. And I think we're in that period now. And I was going to open this up and to that terrifying reality. What do you think the next genre of movies are going to be?
To
The
fall
next big,
or
the next like big popular one to take this space. Do you think we're going to get fantasy movies? Do you think we're going to get action movies like John Wick? Do you think we're going to get more...
I think action movies will always be a thing. As long as Tom Cruise is alive, action movies will be a thing. And I don't quite mean that as big of a joke as it sounds. I really think Tom Cruise is one of those guys keeping action movies alive.
Yep, wholeheartedly agree.
And I think we've got some. So he's the guy. He is the A+ gold rated. Everything should be measured by the Tom Cruise movie. And then you've got these other guys, kind of like Chris Pratt, and above him, Keanu Reeves, who are also pretty good. Keanu Reeves, obviously, a little bit better than Chris Pratt. Who, when Tom is gone, when he is ascended to the 8th level of the Oculate, they will try to hold the reins. They will try to maintain it as it was, and it just won't be as good. It'll be fine. We'll get more Chris Pratt movies. We'll get more Keanu Reeves movies. We'll get more. I'm trying to think of other guys. I kind of feel there was a while there that I kind of thought Nick Cage would be the next action star, but he keeps kind of like going in and out of weird phases.
Well, that's Nick Cage. So
yeah, that's just
Nick Cage, man.
Yeah. So
Speaking of Superman.
Oh God, yeah, that silver suit. Oh jeez.
No, there was a comment in the chat, and this is actually where I was hoping you would get to. If you want to highlight Daimyo, I actually think that gaming adaptions might actually be the next thing, but I don't think they're going to be that in the sense of going and see them in the movie theaters. I think that video games are going to become semi-theatrical experiences.
So this is why I think I've talked to Daimyo quite a bit, and this is why I think he's dead wrong with that. Okay. One of the best video game stories right now is Mass Effect. The first three Mass Effect, Mass Effect trilogy is one of the best stories ever done in video games. The problem with that is it's an RPG, which means that of the, let's say, 2 million people that have played this game, of the 2 million people that have played this game, let's say 55% of them played as a male Commander Shepard. Okay, so you make Commander Shepard in the show or movie you male. Okay, well, you've already pissed off 45% of your audience because their Commander Shepard is female. Okay, so of that 55% male Commander Shepard fans, 30% played as the warrior class. So you make him a warrior class. Well, you've already pissed off another 25% because they played as one of the other 3 classes. So that's why I think that kind of thing can't be done. Or it can't be done to the point that everyone will be happy with it.
Yeah, I think I could see your point if that's what I was talking about, but I meant it more in like a sense of having video games actually truly shift into that role in society where movies.
Oh, yeah, okay, 100%. Daimyo, if that's what you were talking about, you're 100% right. Yes, video games are going to become the next main medium of media, like how we obtain stories and things like that.
Yeah, I think
that's how we're going to do it. And I think it's going to be that way for a very long time.
I don't see how it can be topped, especially in some of these games where you're in virtual reality. I mean, there's nothing going to be more special to a kid playing Zelda for the first time if he's the one swinging the sword. And so these characters are actually going to become more timeless than some of the most timeless people we have now. Like, you have an entire generation that remembers Clark Gable saying, frankly, I don't give a damn. But how many more billions of people are going to know, it's a me, and it's funny how we can scale. We can think that these other things are important now, and then how impossible it is to see where these things are going.
So, Daimyo, the reason Last of Us did so well is because it is a straightforward story with, as far as I'm aware, I have not played it. I've only talked to people about it. As far as I'm aware, it's not choices. It's not a choice-based game. You just go where you're told to go.
I thought the games were boring. Like, as somebody who likes stories,
things like that will work very well on the screen. You could very easily make Last of Us, Halo, but obviously don't put it in Paramount's hands. Hell, you could make Call of Duty movies or TV shows. But I don't think you could do you would not be able to touch RPGs in a film medium because of what I said.
not until you have AI that can just you like when you buy your ticket and your glasses,
you can see
you can see exactly the character you
that
want
would be honestly that'd be pretty cool. But then how would you ever trust another thing you saw?
Well, I mean, we're already getting to that point. I mean, that's life as it is anyway. You know what I mean? Like, if you really think about it, cars are only stay in their lanes because of pieces of paint on the road.
And damage cost, insurance, police, lawyers.
But that's what I mean, though. It's just it's unspoken barriers.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's interpretation of what these mean. And they're just painted lines. Imagine lights on a screen. You know what I mean? Like, that's what else are we doing here? There's a comment I want to highlight. I think I didn't like The Last of Us either. I got bored of it. I thought it was the exact same thing as The Walking Dead. I don't understand the difference, really, except for the setup. Like, if The Walking Dead had survivors in the first season, it would have been the same exact thing. They just didn't. It was just a little bit more like brutal because it was a smaller cast and smaller budget.
Yeah. So real quick, Star Wars dog. Yes, I think VR will definitely take off the second Xbox, Sony, and Nintendo start pouring money into it. I know Sony already has a little bit of a VR thing, but as far as I'm aware, it's not that great. It's about as good as the Oculus thing is. So once they actually pour into it and start saying, we need to make the next generation of VR, that's when VR will take off. As long as it's Oculus just doing these, well, you've seen X-Wings or Stash Rendar's gaming nights on his Oculus thing. As long as that's it, as cool as that is, and it's very cool to watch, it's not. I would rather play video games on my Xbox than spend a lot of time doing that, especially because that's $500. So I could spend $500 on something that I can play like 6 or 7 games on, or I'd spend $500 on my Xbox Series X and play all the games.
Hard disagree, man. I played VR. I want to get that. I'm gonna have a whole room set up for it, dude. Stuff is so cool, man.
Now, I would really like a VR setup where I can move. So, like those Omnipad type things. That
have you played it where you have the controllers in your hands?
No, I haven't played any of it. I've just watched people play
it. Dude, you gotta try to get your hand. You gotta try to play it because there's some super cool games where like it's not what you think it is, where you're just in a room and you're looking around. Like, you have hands now, man.
Yeah, I know. Like I've watched. Sick. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that stuff, and it's
Yeah, but
very
you gotta
cool.
play it, man.
I
It's not fun
understand.
to
I
watch.
understand. Well, it's fun when you're watching Stash Rendar do it.
Well, my point is saying is you will
The
change your
chat will know what
tune
I'm talking about.
once you jump into it. Like if you play
Yeah.
Beat Sabers, or if you play Grom, or if you play,
I can tell you right
Akira,
now, I'll never play Beat Sabers.
dude, it's so fun,
I don't care. That looks so lame.
bro.
Beat
You're
Sabers,
insane.
nah.
It's so fun, man.
Dude,
It's so fun.
I don't even do. I never even did like Dance Dance Revolution. You think I'm going to do Beat Sabers?
Yeah, but Dance Dance Revolution didn't have lightsabers in it.
I just wait for a Star Wars game. I'll play the Vader things where I can choke them and run them through with a lightsaber.
That's gonna be a fun game. Like, wait, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Like when Battlefront comes out and stuff like that. That's gonna be so fun.
So, Rolo, I just so you're aware, I highlighted that chat just so I could say Destiny is mid at best. Wait for it. I'm either gonna get a phone call. Oh my god. Well, sorry, hang on. I'm supposed to be drafting a fantasy baseball team right now, and I completely forgot. And I'm pretty sure I've missed like 5 rounds of this thing.
Do you need to go?
Yeah, I have. No, I don't need to go. I just need to pull it up.
Don't you pick one or the other. Don't be over here.
Oh my god! I didn't even say hello. I'm an idiot.
I knew you had a baseball fantasy draft tonight.
Thanks for telling me.
You told me. What am I?
I know.
I have a paralegal for that stuff, man.
Let's see. That would be cool. Controller glove type stuff.
Controller gloves would be cool. The handles aren't so bad because they're basically just like a controller broken in half.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, amateur. I agree, Daimyo. Amateur YouTuber over here. You know.
Yeah, I'm just terrible at it.
Yeah, just awful. I guess I've got some more stuff. I want to go see John Wick 4. I think I'm gonna go see that soon. I'm gonna watch that movie RRR. And here's something I was gonna tell you. I have been rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender. And
such a great show.
So good.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is the only TV show ever to win a Peabody Award for its characters.
It's so good. I mean, I'm watching it again, and I'm finally on the I hate to say it sucks because it's like the best episodes are the last 10, and you just run through them. Where Zuko's finally on the team, spoilers, and
I really like the the Northern Water Tribe story. Like, I've always thought that was a really cool storyline.
Yeah, you know what pissed me off? You know what? I got some gripes though, man. As an adult.
Okay, let's hear them.
Where were the fucking Northern Water Tribe when they were invading the Fire Nation? Like, fuck you guys. You know, where were you? We could have used some waterbenders that day, like an army. Because even the Earth Kingdom doesn't even have a leader, and they managed to put some resources toward it. So, like, they're the last resistance in the world, really, the Northern Water Tribe. Like, anyway.
You know, that's a good point.
And then, dude, the king, the Earth King is the worst person ever. He's worse than the Fire Lord. To be that pampered and that oblivious, and then when all the shit hits the fan and you finally realize that now you have to rebuild the kingdom that you lost, he quits and leaves.
He's Nikolai II. He just doesn't die.
He never comes back. And I just always, this time around, I just got really pissed off. I was like, man, there might be millions of people in the Earth Kingdom that were like fighting and dying for this man, thinking that he was leading the country against this fight. And it just really rubbed my gears the wrong way this time.
Yeah, no, I agree. Iroh is an amazing that episode where he the episode that's like 3 different stories in it, and it ends with him singing
Tales of Ba Sing Se. Yeah,
and he sings that song. It's so magical.
I know. I saw this fan theory online that the reason Iroh changed is because he wasn't willing. Like there was a moment of weakness. Like there's an opportunity to breach Ba Sing Se, and he was pouring troops into it, and then the window had passed, and his generals were saying that, hey, you need to fall back, and he wouldn't. So he sent another battalion in, and that was the battalion led by Liu Ten, his son. And so basically, Iroh's orders got him killed, and that's why he had such a drastic change in personality, because he realized his ambition killed his son.
Damn.
It's just a fan theory, but like I thought that was even deeper. I was like, oh my God, that enhances the show to me.
Even a fan theory of a 2005 animated cartoon on Nickelodeon has better writing than Disney.
I know, dude. It is much better.
It's ridiculous, man.
I don't like Korra though.
No, I've never watched it. I remember one night I was scrolling through Facebook videos, as you do.
Yeah.
And I hit this one thing where I was watching this and I was like, this looks a lot like Avatar. And this guy is like running across the thing. He jumps onto a plane. And I was like, what the hell is this? And then I found it was Korra. And I was like, what the hell? Why would you? How is there a plane? But dude, apparently they jump forward in technology.
Yeah, dude. It was so. I just did not. There were some good ideas in Korra. Like I liked the pro bending. I liked the Avatar, the Airbender family. I thought they did Aang dirty. That honestly, they were like they kind of made him a bad
I've heard
dad.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, and it's just and the real problem with Korra was that they only greenlit him for one season at a time. So I'll give the writers like each season was self-contained. So it was like every time it was like the biggest deal in the world, and then the next season it was like, hey, we're actually back, and here's a new adventure. It's like it was just. I don't know, but there were some good parts of it. Like there was a really funny water tribe inventor who was really funny. I can't remember his name, but he was so funny. I'm sure chat can help me out. But
yeah, chat, you know what to do.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just did not like it. Hey, check the private chat, Caleb.
Yes, sir.
I got to the coolest part of the whole show of Korra though was when that the Airbender and bad guys are here. Spoilers for anybody. That when he was he could fly. He had mastered airbending better than the Avatar could. It was so good because the Airbenders they don't have to be tethered to the world. So when you really master airbending, you can fly just on your own. You don't need a sky bison. But the Avatar is always connected to the world. They can't. They have the three other elements to worry about. So they can't ever detach themselves. So I just thought I was like, that is really deep stuff.
Oh no, yeah, I totally agree. I remember hearing about the first Avatar. I remember thinking, oh, that'd be kind of a cool little thing to see. But I think we're kind of wrapping up here. And so I wanted to end on a couple of things. One, I want to ask you, do you have the illustrated Targaryen book that just came out?
No, dude, I don't.
Well, you do now.
What do you mean?
So, Sundowners Club is a really cool channel. Anybody that hasn't seen it, go check them out. And they're some pretty big Song of Ice and Fire fans, and they ran a contest, and the winner received the illustrated Targaryen book, and I won. And I already have the World of Ice and Fire, so I figured I'll pass my winnings on to you.
Wow, I'm honored. I'll review it post haste, and then get mad at George for working on this instead of fucking.
This is the other this was done by his two
his two right hands.
Yeah, his two right hands that a lot of people don't like.
Whatever. I'm whatever. Finish the damn book, George.
Yeah.
Your fans are going crazy. Like
and
crazy.
as I ask the next question, I'm gonna look up the counter.
Yeah, but
so my
Caleb.
Yeah. Well, you go first because I have to look this up.
Yeah, so I think I'm looking forward to going and seeing John Wick. I'm excited for Dune to come out. Let's see.
Now that's at the end of the day, right? I mean, end of the year, right?
Yeah, and I'm excited for. I think Isom 2 is getting ready to drop. I'm getting ready to buy that. My advice to anybody who's going to buy it is to buy 2. I didn't know this the first time, and so what you want to do is you want to have 1 to keep and 1 to read, because otherwise you're going to just be reading the one you want to keep, and you're going to crease the spine, and it's just not something you want to do. I didn't know it the first time.
Can we still buy the first one?
On eBay.
Oh, really? Damn.
You can't get the cover number 1 like from the store yet. I don't think they've reprinted them yet because they want them to be exclusive. They want them to be collector's items. That's why they want you to buy 2 of them and stuff. It's
okay.
It's a business, and I don't blame him because I appreciate Eric July. He's a man, inspiration, role model. I don't think he's that much older than we are. So, I'm excited for that, and I'm trying to think of anything else. I'm excited to finish Avatar. I think I'm going to watch somebody mentioned in the chat, there is an Avatar Studios at Nickelodeon now, so they're getting ready to make a bunch of new stuff, which I'm excited about. Hopefully they rewrite some of the stuff, which would be great. I'd love for them to decanonize some of Legend of Korra because some of it is stupid. They just redo so much. They retcon so much stuff that it's really annoying, and you're just like, wow, why did you do that?
That Netflix show is, I'm concerned about it.
No, the Netflix show is supposed to be okay. I don't know. I don't know. I'll see what it thinks. But Grey Pilgrim, Isom is a superhero run by the great Eric July. Go follow him. He's on Ripaverse or ericdjuly.com. Total shameless plug. He's a great guy, good inspiration. Go if you're watching us, go watch his shit. At least I don't know if Caleb wants you to watch it. No, but be a backer, support alternative media, get out there, make your opinions heard. And Caleb, what are you looking forward to?
So, like you, I'm looking forward to John Wick 4. I'm probably going to go see it this weekend. And then, obviously, next year, House of the Dragon Season 2. Really looking forward to that. Really hoping they do Cheese and what's his other name?
Blood and Cheese.
Blood Cheese. Really hoping Blood Cheese comes through very well. And other than that, though, I think the only other big thing I'm really looking forward to is coming out in 30 days, and it's Jedi Survivor.
Is that a game?
Wait. It is, and we will be playing, or at least I will be playing it on this channel.
Oh, 2 last things I'm looking forward to. My fiance is about to get the new Harry Potter game, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to watch her play that.
It's very
She's a big
easy
Harry
to play.
Potter fan.
It's very good.
I'll play it after she's done. And then I am going to get the new Zelda game.
I was going to say Breath of the Wild.
The gameplay, Tears of the Kingdom, is coming out. And the new gameplay trailer just dropped yesterday. And, dude, it looks crazy. There's
a demo out. You can play a demo if you want to.
I don't know if I want to spoil it.
Well, I think it's just supposed to kind of teach you how to play this game.
Yeah, I almost 100% in Breath of the Wild. I'm sure I can figure it out. I really liked Breath of the Wild. Like it's probably one of the best games I've ever played. Like the climbing mechanic has to be one of the most fun things because like the worst thing, like you're playing The Witcher or you're playing other open world games and you come across a mountain and you're like, I can't get up this. Like it's like you're like, I can't really explore. I have to go along these paths and stuff. Mm-hmm. Breath of the Wild doesn't have any of that. Any wall is climbable unless they don't want you to climb it for a specific reason. But as long as you have stamina, you can get anywhere, which is the most fun part of the game. So
anyway, Dan's a turf.
Turf field, yeah. Don't throw those accusations around at me, Caleb.
I still don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means either, but I have trans clients, so don't be throwing that shit around, bro. I'll throw that shit right back at you.
Because we all know your exact name and what firm you work for.
Right. Well, I'm not going to reveal any of my clients' information if I don't have to.
Yeah, let's not do that. We don't need you going up in front of the bar.
On that note, I did see a really funny coffee mug my coworker got the other day. It says, "My clients have the best stories, but HIPAA prevents me from telling you."
That's great.
Isn't that hilarious?
So
yeah.
that I'm gonna need to buy that. So everybody, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button and click that bell. You'll get notified of anytime we drop stuff. I'm actually probably about to drop a video shortly after this one. And anytime we go live. So yeah.
Thank you guys again.
Yeah. And follow us on Twitter at KingsAdvisors_.
Have a good night.